the high priest we needed. Hebrews chapter 7 verse 26. For such an high priest became us, who is holy, harmless, undefiled, separate from sinners, and made higher than the heavens. We've just seen that Jesus is the high priest who lives forever and saves completely. But what kind of high priest is he? Hebrews gives us 5 descriptions, and every one of them point us to the perfect suitability of Jesus Christ. For such an high priest became us. That little word "for" connect this verse to what came before, which is Hebrews 7:25. He is able also to save them to the uttermost. Verse 26. For such an high priest became us. In other words, why is Jesus able to save completely? Because he is exactly the kind of high priest we needed. Not merely powerful, not merely eternal, perfectly suited to us. Hebrews gives us 5 descriptions. Holy. Jesus is holy. He is not a priest who needed forgiveness for his own sins before representing others. The Levitical priests were sinners themselves. Jesus was not. Peter says, who did no sin, neither was guile found in his mouth. 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 22. And Hebrews 4:15 says, yet without sin. The one representing us before God is himself without sin. Point 2. Harmless. The word carries the idea of innocent, without evil, without malice. Think about that. Jesus never manipulated people, never deceived people, never used his power for selfish gain. Even when he was falsely accused, he committed himself to the Father. This is the character of our high priest. Point 3. Undefiled. Nothing has contaminated him. The priest under the law had to deal with ceremonial purity because they themselves were imperfect. But Christ is completely undefiled. His humanity did not make him sinful. His temptation did not make him sinful. His suffering did not make him sinful. His contact with sinners did not contaminate him. Instead, he brought cleansing to sinners. Point 4. Separate from sinners. Now we have to be very careful with this phrase. It does not mean Jesus was socially isolated from sinners. He ate with sinners. He touched the leper. He welcomed the rejected. He came to seek and save the lost. So what does Hebrew mean? It is emphasizing his moral separation from sin. Jesus lived among sinners without becoming a sinner. He entered our world without becoming corrupted by it. That is why he could become the perfect sacrifice. Point 5. Made higher than the heavens. And now, the writer takes us from earth to heaven. Jesus is not merely another priest standing on earth. He is the risen and exalted Christ. He has passed from the heavens. He is seated at the right hand of God. Hebrews 8:1 says, we have such an high priest who is set on the right hand of the throne of the majesty in heaven. There is our complete picture. Holy, harmless, undefiled, separate from sinners, higher than the heavens. That is our high priest. Now connect verse 25 of Hebrews and verse 26. Verse 25 says, he is able to save them to the uttermost. Verse 26. For such an high priest became us. His ability to save is connected to the perfection of the one who saves. We don't have an imperfect savior trying to accomplish a perfect salvation. We have a perfect high priest accomplishing a complete salvation. Now, verse 27 makes it even stronger. The next verse says, Christ needed not daily as those high priests to offer up sacrifice. Why? Because unlike the old priest, Jesus does not need to offer sacrifices for his own sin first. And unlike the repeated sacrifice of the old covenant, Jesus offered himself once. Hebrews 7:27. This he did once when he offered up himself. There it is, once. And that takes us straight to Hebrews 10:14. For by one offering he had perfected forever them that are sanctified. Maybe you have been wondering, is Christ really enough? Hebrews says, Look at your high priest. He is holy. He is harmless. He is undefiled. He is separate from sinners. He is higher than the heavens. And he is the one who is able also to save to the uttermost. So your confidence is not in the perfection of your performance. Your confidence is in the perfection of your high priest. We have a perfect high priest, offering a perfect sacrifice, and therefore our hope rests not in our imperfect performance, but in the perfection and performance of Jesus Christ. If you are trusting Christ today, don't look at your weakness and conclude that Christ is weak. Don't look at your failures and conclude that his sacrifice is insufficient. Look at your high priest. He is holy. He is undefiled. He lives forever. He has offered himself once, and he is able to save completely. Your high priest is not struggling to finish the work. He has finished the sacrifice. He lives forever, and he is able. God bless you, my friend. Preach the gospel. Preach it anytime. Preach it everywhere. And the Lord will bless you more than you ever know. You are on top.